What if I told you that staying calm in the midst of chaos is right underneath your nose, and or it is your nose? Breathing. The ability, or my own ability, to learn to master, I don't even say master, but just get control of my breath. I think it's something that has helped me throughout my life. At a very young age, I discovered the ability to control my emotions and to at least calm myself through my breath. I didn't know it at the time, but I think I intuitively came across this because I just discovered it and I found myself being able to not lose my mind when things were going crazy. Being raised in a household where things would go sideways and arguments could lead to bigger arguments and fights, and it just was the norm to have high tense, high anxiety atmosphere. Led to a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of crying, a lot of trauma. And the only thing that really calmed me down throughout all those moments was controlling my breath, being able to find peace, control my breath, and would give me hope, honestly. And it's funny because I mean, it's not like I knew any science back then or understood what I was even doing. I just know that it helped. As I continued to grow up, I got into management, got into even higher, I don't say higher tense, but it was tense type of situations because in management, I worked at a grocery store for 18 years, in the grocery stores for about 15 of those years. And if you've been in any kind of retail space, you can understand that it can get pretty crazy. Customers get upset, employees, managers. I like to think, or a way I explain it is that at any given moment, I'd have 2 or 3 people, groups of people angry at me. It could be the employees, because I was in management. It could be some employee mad about his schedule or his paycheck or his hours, or mad at each other. It could be management about we're not hitting our numbers, salary being way too high. It could be a customer whose eggs were broken and somebody had another customer slip and slide in the back by the milk. It could be this mass hysteria, and somewhere in between all that, as a manager, an assistant manager, I had to find my calm and show up present and in a problem-solving mode. And my breath, controlling my breath, was always my best tool. And I would always get compliments for that. How are you able to stay cool? Well, one, not being cool, not staying cool wasn't going to make the problem any better. And so I was motivated. And 2, I would pace my breathing enough to be able to stay under control, understand what's going on around me, look at the options, prioritize, outsource, give tasks to people to, obviously they can't be in 3 or 4 or 5 places at one time, but it just allowed me to prioritize and decide who I needed to talk to at any given moment, what problem needed to be solved. Breathing, actively breathing, inhaling, holding your breath, exhaling slowly, was my technique for being able to stay under control. Today's episode of Becoming Better Ancestors is brought to you by me. That's right, TV the Marketer, founder of Rockstar.Marketing, where we help small businesses stop being invisible and start becoming unforgettable. That's what you are. If you run a local business and you're tired of throwing money away on ads that don't work, or worse, trusting your cousin's friend who does marketing on the side, it's time to call in the pros. We do digital advertising, video marketing, AI integrations, and strategy that actually gets results. No fluff, no excuses, just ROI. Head on over to www.rockstar.marketing. It's a real thing. And let's make some marketing magic happen. In my marriage, it was incredibly important. I didn't have so many people, but I had a wife and I had children that were demanding my attention, affection, and things were crazy. And by that point, I really was good about controlling my breath. And by that point, I think I really started to develop this practice of exhaling profusely. And I used to catch a lot of crap from my ex-wife because she knew that if I was breathing like that I was probably upset with managing myself, and she wasn't happy about that. She'd give me a hard time. Girlfriends would give me issues about that, like, why are you breathing like that? One when I knew that it was to try to calm myself, because the last thing I want to do is, if I can control it, obviously it's not 100%, but if I can control it, I'd rather control my breath, control my emotions, and then be able to react without doing or saying anything that's going to make the situation worse. So breathing is such a fantastic tool, and is one that we all have the ability to do, but most of us in tense situations don't breathe properly. And recently, which leads me to, I was recently gifted this book, Breath by James Nestor, at my 50th birthday, for my 50th birthday, by a couple of good friends, Lindsay and Dave. They gifted it to me because it's in line with where I'm at in my life, what I'm doing, because I talk about breath, and I do a lot of breathing, conscious breathing already. So they felt like it was appropriate. And man, was it ever. I picked it up. I finally started reading it about 2 weeks ago. And I didn't realize just how correct I was. Some of the things that he mentioned, techniques in the book, I was doing, and I had never really read anything about it, but I was doing them intuitively since I was a child. In many ways, I really do feel like it helped save me from a lot of really bad situations, or calm me and keep me from losing my mind in the midst of crazy, crazy situations I found myself in. But I was reading the book, and I discovered some things that just shocked me, blew me away, that things that can help just regular human beings. Information that I've come to the conclusion that this is just common information, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of information from ancient civilizations, cultures, and even practitioners today, that are humans that are doing this work now and have been doing it forever to maintain their cool, to maintain their warmth. Our ancestors, depending on where you're at in the world, were either trying to keep themselves cool or trying to keep themselves warm, because they lived in cultures and in environments, rather, where the temperatures were all over the place. So they didn't have AC or heating. So their breath allowed them to go longer periods without eating, longer periods without drinking water. It allowed them to cool or warm themselves. The breath can do so many things. It allowed them to heal themselves. And to this day, it does have that power. And the fact that we don't have this as common knowledge, that is just passed down from generation to generation, or even classes that are available in the schools today, just common knowledge, is absolutely to me. I got out of the society of mouth breathers. Mouth breathing, as a rule, is not a good thing. Now, it doesn't look good to me, and it does seem kind of awkward, but I never realized just how bad it is in that, or more so, that our nose, I learned that our nose is just one of the most magnificent tools within our body to help give us the oxygen we need. Obviously, I know we breathe through our nose, but the nose, the nostril, the nasal cavity, everything related to it, the sinus, helps filter, helps warm the air to pass it down to the lungs so it can do its work. I'm not going to sit here and give you all the science of it, because I don't know it all, but I know just how vital it is, and how over, I guess, the last few centuries, we have smaller nasal passages because we chew less hard stuff, which has led to our mouths being and our skulls being narrower, which then has created bunching of the teeth, because our mouths are thinner, our skulls are thinner, which then leads to the nasal passages being narrower, which then makes it harder to breathe. Crazy. And because it makes it harder to breathe, now many people tend to breathe through their mouth, and also the bunching of the teeth, like I said. They breathe through their mouth, and it bypasses, and it creates a bunch of other problems, health problems that I can't even list here, but it's a lot of health problems. So we're mouth breathers, and we shouldn't be breathing through our mouth unless you absolutely have to. And I've learned that there are some meditations or some breath practices that use breathing through the mouth as the method, but in terms of just breathing day to day, it's not encouraged to do that. Part two, we overbreathe. So we have too much oxygen. I guess that's what I understood. Too much oxygen. We're breathing way too fast, too often, too many breaths within a minute. Ideally, the author says you should be, in a perfect scenario, 5.5 seconds in, 5.5 seconds out, or just really consistent, and maybe 6 breaths, 7 breaths per minute. Complete inhale and exhale. Anything after that, then the oxygen carbon dioxide ratio starts to get weird, and then things happen in your body. And that was crazy. He goes on to say that a lot of the issues we have because of the narrow faces and the tongue and the way everything's kind of now almost collapsed in the back of our mouth, which when we sleep creates the sleep apnea problem and snoring problems. And a simple solution that he offers is to just tape your mouth. Don't let your mouth open, your jaw open in the middle of the night, to prevent sleep apnea, to prevent a lot of the snoring. So I've been tinkering with that, and I have found that I wake up a lot more rested. It's just the feeling. I can't even prove it. It's just I do feel it to be true. It's challenging though to keep the tape on my mouth, because in the middle of the night my asleep self seems to be mad that it's even on my mouth, and I rip it off. So that's funny. But those are things that I had learned. And the book goes on to share different techniques for different ways to do things. It was fascinating to know that there's been these practices that have proven to heal people from some crazy asthma, for example, diseases and ailments that are really common in our world today. So it rocked my world. It made me feel validated, because it's something that I've taught my daughters to breathe, to pace themselves, to take their time, especially when things are going crazy, to just stop and focus on your breath. There have been instances where I've had to almost scream at my children to hold their breath, inhale, exhale, to keep them from losing their mind, like they're having panic attacks. Hey there, it's me again. This episode, in case you forgot, of the Becoming Better Ancestors is sponsored by yours truly. I'm TV, the guy behind Rockstar.Marketing. We help purpose-driven businesses go from best kept secret to everybody's talking about them, using digital ads, compelling video, and marketing that actually works. If you got a message that matters but need help getting it heard, we should talk. Head over to www.rockstar.marketing and let's make you impossible to ignore. And it's helped them. And it's a practice, right? It's something that I've been incredibly passionate about for my entire life. But after reading the book, as I was reading the book, I was more motivated to look into it, to find classes, because I've never taken classes for it. And as I was looking into that, I found a place here locally that actually teaches breathwork. Practitioner, breathwork facilitator, is teaching breathwork facilitator classes. Do I want to be a teacher? I thought to myself, do I want to teach this? I want to learn. The more I sat with that over the next few days, I decided I do. I do want to teach it. I do want to learn this. I do want to have this as a skill set, as a knowledge base that I can teach others with. And the more I sat with that, the more I realized that this is something I really want to do. It's in line with something that I've been incredibly passionate about my entire life. Something that I think about consciously is flowing and out of. What if more techniques? What if to understand what's happening, the science, the processes, to be able to teach it and share it with more people? So I signed up. So in February of next year, I start classes, and we'll be doing those classes through September, I think 7 or 8 months, first weekend of every month. And I'm incredibly excited. I'll say this. By trade, I'm a marketer. I've been in business I'm going to 17 years, and I'm really passionate about what I do, why I do it. I help my clients who help their clients who do great work in the community. Love that. However, I don't want to die being known as a marketer. I would, more than anything, I want to die, and hopefully as I'm dying, people are saying, oh, he was a good guy. He helped people. And in that vein, I would love to be known as someone that helped teach people how to breathe properly, how to heal themselves, how to give themselves an opportunity to live a much more fulfilled life, how to de-stress. I want to be of service to the world, and I think this might be one step towards that. I'm 50 now, like I said early on in the video, and I'm trying to figure out what's next for me. The business is still coming along. My daughter's working with me now. If you've seen many of my other videos, you know that she's a part of the company and she's helping me out. But there's something that I've been curious about and wanting to do, and I didn't know what it would be, but I've been open to finding that out organically and not forcing it. And I think I found it. I think whatever the future holds for me, whatever my future ventures will be involving breath work. And I will be known as someone that has helped people in that space. So that's the story of the day. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Take your time, find your peace. There's so many videos online that can help you through that. I've been Googling, I've been YouTubing, and I've been devouring as much as I can and finding the breathing techniques for all types of things. To sleep at night, to de-stress, to give you energy. The Wim Hof method I tried that a few days ago, and I found myself I did it twice during a workout, and it was one of the most intense workouts I've ever had in terms of personal motivation and energy I had. I was sweating profusely on my own. I don't do that outside of group classes. And it's just fascinating to know that we have this tool in us. Our lungs and our breath have the power to heal, to motivate, to empower you through things. And I'm looking forward to being able to share more of that in the future. I don't know what that looks like, but stay tuned. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. My name is TV. If you want to hear more about my 50th birthday party and how that party and this number has started to change the way I see the world and what I'm going to be doing in it, click on the video here where I talk about that. Until next time.